Hello, I am Matt. This is stock speedrun number 2 for the weekend of January 29th, 2022. If you are unfamiliar with what a stock speedrun is, as always, you can check this video's description for an explanation and a disclaimer as to its content. Let's go. Let's see what we got. Katapult Holdings. Man, why couldn't I get Trebuchet Holdings? These guys are dealing in the inferior siege weapon. Alright, let's see, what is this? E-commerce focused financial technology company provides e-commerce point of scale, lease purchase options for non-prime customers in the United States. Alright, that's a word salad. Provides non-prime consumers. I don't know what a non-prime consumer is. That's a weird term. With a lease purchase option to enable them to obtain durable goods from its network of e-commerce merchants. Is that sort of like, and you know what, as I'm talking, you know what? Screw what this says, because as I'm talking, my eyes wander to the left of the screen, and I see a shit ton of lawsuits. What is this about? Holy crap. Okay, let's see what happened here. This should be a fun ride. Final deadline alert! These guys apparently pissed off and or screwed a lot of investors. Let's see, what did they do? Company made false and misleading statements to the market. That's never good. Suffered from declining e-commerce sales and lower consumer spending, although the company touted its value proposition to both consumers and merchants. It had no visibility into the future buying behavior of consumers. Okay, so they were touting the fact that the future is going to be amazing, but in fact, they did not know when the future was going to be amazing. That's going to be hard to prove. How do you prove that someone didn't actually know the future when, even if they have an idea, it's not guaranteed that it's going to come to fruition, right? That they can very easily just say, oh, well, you know, there was a 1% chance that, you know, what we said wasn't going to happen, and it looks like that 1% won out. Oh, well, too bad, so sad. It's kind of tough to prove. How do you prove that someone didn't actually know the future? If it's not 100% certain that they did. That's a little bit of food for thought there. Based on these facts, companies' public statements were false and materially misleading throughout. Okay, now the difference here, yeah. So they pretended they had a non-zero visibility into the future when they had a zero visibility in the future. Kind of like the opposite problem, and again, it's hard to prove. How far back does this go? So it was at least 3 months ago. Jeez, look at all this! Holy crap! 4 months ago. Come on, give me 5 months ago. Show me, show me, show me! Nope, that's as far back as I can go, apparently. All the way to 4 months ago, and it's lawsuits all the way down. I assume these lawsuits are the same. Securities fraud action class action lawsuits. The shareholder interest in file complaint alleges the defendants made gratuitously false and misleading statements to fail to disclose that. Ooh, okay. Wait a minute. This is about Activision. Oh no, wait, it's also about Katapult. Okay, I was coming down here. I'm like, why just talk about Activision? That's old news, considering Activision Blizzard is not going to be its own company anymore. I don't know, bro. Everyone's hoping that Microsoft... I know I'm getting a little sidetracked. Everyone's hoping that Microsoft can fix their apparently extremely toxic frat boy workplace culture. We'll see about that. Here's Katapult. Alleges that defendants made materially false. Katapult was made false and misleading statements and are failed to disclose that... Okay, this gives a little more details. They failed to disclose... It's not just that, oh, they didn't know the future. No, they apparently lied about specific things. They failed to disclose that, 1... Katapult was experiencing declining e-commerce retail sales and consumer spending. 2, despite Katapult's assertions that it was clear and compelling value proposition to both customers transforming the way non-prime consumers shop for essential goods, and Katapult lacked visibility into customers' future buying behavior. And 3, as a result of the okay, this first one here is pretty compelling. Like, that one alone is concerning. 2 is kind of the future viewing one that may be difficult to prove. Let's see what 3 is. As a result of the foregoing, defendants put a positive statement about the company's business, operations, and prospects were materially false and misleading. This one's also true, simply based on the fact of 1. 2 almost has nothing to do with it. 2, I think, is inconsequential. 1 and 3 are the important ones here. Either way, that's not good, and these guys are screwed. Well, I mean, maybe partially screwed. We'll see. So they made false and misleading statements. They claim... Actually, let me read this again. Because they claim was experiencing declining e-commerce retail and consumer spending. Did they really fail to disclose that? Because I see right here... These quarterly numbers are kind of in line with that. Slow declines the last 3. So were they really lying if these numbers are here? It would be nice if I could have a quote or something about what they lied about. It's like, they lied. Okay, where did they lie? Here, this quote here, read this. That was a lie. I would like to know what and where they lied about, but that's probably more specific information than I'm likely to get from here. Let's see, third quarter financial results. Sure, I'll read that real quick. Are in the red if they invested a year ago. Are they now? To present at Steven, blah, blah, interim growth, blah, blah, some more lawsuits. Inside rethinking their Katapult holdings. So it's been down over the past year, has it? Let's take a look. Holy shit! What was this in August? This huge drop. Was that the lawsuits? No, because it said the lawsuits were 4 months ago. Would 4 months ago be August? No, that would... actually, would it? So it's January now. January, December... No, wait. January to December is 1. To November is 2. To October is 3. To September is 4. To August is 5. Depending on how they count months. Back to August could be considered 4 months depending on how they count months. That's very possible that's what happened. And so 4 months ago is when the lawsuit started happening at least. This drop here may be when people actually started to find out that they were lying. The lawsuits usually come later. This may be when they actually found out. It did go up a little bit after that, but then it started to, because people like, hey, I'm gonna be positive on this. These people don't know what they're talking about. This company's amazing, and then everyone's like, everyone else for the next 4 or 5 months is like, no, it's not. This is garbage. You shouldn't have bought. Eee. So, just looking at this chart, this was definitely a SPAC merger in the past, because this is, because I can see the SPAC life cycle here. I can see it. This is when there was no announcement, and it was just a SPAC sitting there. This is, let me move to the max. There we go. For some reason, the max gives more granularity, other than the 5-year. I'm not too sure why. This is probably when it was announced. Who were they going to merge with? You had this little post pop. This here might have been when the actual terms of the agreement came out, and everyone didn't like them, so that went down there. They might have got a lawsuit from that also. And then it started to slowly decline after that, and then this is when the financial troubles came out. Yeah, so I just did a complete analysis of the history of this company. Just based on the chart! I'm that amazing! I think about Katapult like Amazon was in the beginning. Amazon blew out bookstore because bookstores could not compete with Amazon's endless selection supply. Yeah, but did Amazon ever have no insight and declining revenues and lied about it? I mean, I was young when Amazon first started, but I don't think so. I don't think so. Multiple buyout offers. Pixar didn't happen. Short squeeze. Ugh. Stop talking about short squeezes. Actually, hold on. 21% shares shorted, really. Let me go look at that real quick. I'm seeing 9.56 here. Maybe of the float? Not of the outstanding, at least. Float is probably what he's talking about. Which, to be honest, the float number is probably the more accurate one. Float for Katapult is only 56 million tradable shares. That is not what I just saw in those statistics. Winter quarter 4 results coming out. Up your button around the corner, friendo. You're in a waterfall situation here when the economy gets rough. The prime leaders tighten up. We're actually a beneficiary of that because we see a better... Wow, I don't know, man. I'm seeing a lot of positivity in here, and it belies everything I saw about the company on the original Yahoo page. And, like, I'm starting to wonder if the people in here are on to something, and the negative news is actually not what it seems like, or if these people are just in denial. And or shills. New filing yesterday for this many shares. Strange how being only 4% down can make things seem better. Best AI technology for lease. Really? Where are you guys getting your information from? Discrepancy between Katapult being down when our largest merchant Wayfair, who made up 50% of revenues, is up because Katapult did not make 50%. It's not. Stop comparing Katapult to. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna look up Wayfair real quick for a side-by-side comparison to try to prove this guy's a dumbass. Because look at Wayfair. Look at these numbers. All right, quarterly's not that impressive, but look at these numbers. If I forget, and actually, you know what? Quarterly wasn't impressive. The year-over-year was actually kind of impressive. If I remember the chart right. Maybe I'm not gonna prove these guys are terrible by doing this. Actually, you know what? Yeah, these year, like the quarterly is unimpressive, just like Wayfair's quarterly is unimpressive when you look at it on the face of it. But if you look at the annual, that's impressive. And if you look at Katapult's annual, that's actually honestly impressive also. Maybe it's not stupid to compare Katapult to Wayfair. Let me go look at Katapult. Katapult. They have a site. I assume they have a website. Yeah, lease to own. And you know that makes sense as to why that guy was talking about Rent-A-Center also, because it seems like almost what this is, a mix between Rent-A-Center and Wayfair, because you can lease it, but you can also lease to own it. Apply for a new lease and be approved for $35,000. Yeah, just like obtain products. So do you sell the products or do you just sell the leases? Do you have like a marketplace? Can I see what you have for sale? You obtain products and merchandise era. Let's view all merchants. Oh, you can purchase things off Wayfair through this. That's interesting. Wayfair financing gives you a Katapult payment option. It seems like they don't offer you a marketplace. They specifically offer you a payment plan via other marketplaces. That makes a little more sense. And they have, they look like they have partnerships with a lot of stuff. Although, I'll tell you what I don't see here is a partnership with larger names. I mean, yeah, you got Wayfair, sure. What about some other online retailers? What about... Okay, you know, I'm not going to say Amazon because Amazon's kind of probably out of their league. But let's say things like Chewy, maybe. Things like Chegg. You know, stuff like that. Wayfair is really the only big name I see here. Everything else is kind of small beans. Let's see, what else we got? Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything else that I recognize or looks all that impressive. I just want to keep going until I see something I recognize. Willoughby. Next stop, Willoughby. Alright, I didn't see... Wayfair was literally... Well, okay, not literally the only thing. There were a few other things that I recognized in that first batch, but I recognized nothing in any of the subsequent batches. I think everything... Well, I think the totality of everything makes me want to give this a hold. While the stock is on a nasty slide... And honestly, I didn't really see a whole lot of positive news about it. It does seem to have a lot of positive investor sentiment based on that. Based on that conversation section. But again, I'm not too sure if they're just in denial or if they're shills or whatever. But then there are also the earnings that I was drawing attention to, and they may not have, according to those lawsuits, they may not have insight as to whether or not those can continue. But the yearly is shaping up to look a lot like Wayfair, which is impressive on its own. And I think, especially, you know what would impress me? If they can get partnerships with at least one other large online retailer besides just Wayfair. Amazon's probably out of their league, but something like things I mentioned before, something like Chewy, something like Chegg, stuff like that. Especially Chegg. You know, Chegg does technology, right? Technology kind of stuff. Kind of, big market ticket items. That's where financing like this can really... Because, you're not going to finance, a dog bed. I mean, unless you're insanely poor, but then again, I don't know why you have a dog and why you need a dog bed. But kind of like big ticket items, which I believe Chegg has a lot of. I think that would be a good partnership for this company, and I would like to see that in the future. And if they can do that, then I'd be willing to give this a buy at that point. But I think for now, we only got to go with a hold, with the idea that it looks like a solid company. And it could have a turnaround in that chart. When it could have a turnaround, I'm not entirely sure, but it's very possible. I'm actually surprised that it has not found a floor yet. But I am willing to put my chips in that it can find a floor soon. Because it doesn't look like a bad company. In fact, I feel like it's oversold at this point. And you know what? I probably should have looked at the market cap. Actually, you know what? I don't need to know the market cap because I can do that with math. Because there was about, 70 million outstanding shares, right? Was it 70 or 90? I think it was 90. Let's go with the higher end so this math works out less in my favor and I can still make a positive spin on it. So 90 million shares times, what was the price? 2 something? Like 225, something like that? Okay, so that gives you a market cap of around 220 million? That's a decent market cap for a company like this. I would say it's even a little low, which is why I'm surprised that the stock has slid so much, and that it hasn't found a bottom yet. I think it's, you know what? I think it's overdue for a bottom. I think it is. Now, if they were to rename themselves to Trebuchet Holdings, perhaps I would be more than willing to give them a buy right now. But I think on the face of it, or a company named after the inferior Sir Siege weapon and everything else that I saw, I think I'm gonna go and give it a hold. If you already have this, feel free to ride on the potential turnaround. That I wouldn't be surprised if it's coming soon. So that's all I gotta say, and I'll catch you in the next one.